excuse my attire, but I just had my box of live plants delivered to me from Garden Crossings today. I was moving mulch, but I decided I needed to go ahead and get this opened and get them watered since they've been in here for the last couple of days. And I thought that you would really enjoy seeing what I got and discovering what it's like to order plants online if you haven't done that before. I have ordered from Garden Crossings one other time. This is not sponsored or affiliated or anything like that, and I had really good success, and so I'm expecting the same this time. So it came in just a regular large size box. These are all smaller size plants than what you would find at your local garden center. That makes them more mailable, obviously. So let's take a look. So this is the way that it is presented, quote unquote, is they all have little cubbies. You can see that there's one where the leaves are sticking out. And you guys are just gonna have to excuse the cars going back and forth. I'm on the front porch, which is the best place for me to do this. And we're on a semi-busy road, so that's just the way it is. And the rest of them have paper on the top to protect them. So I have, let's see, how many cells do I have? 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 16, and maybe I ordered 16 plants. I don't have my order sheet right in front of me, but I will know them as soon as I see them. So let's open them up. So the entire thing is wrapped up in this wrap, and I'm actually going to keep this craft paper. I love craft paper. I use it to get my tulips. And I'm just gonna very carefully open this. All right, here we go. First one. And they do have all the tags on it. Very nice. Is the Crazy Blue Russian Sage. This is going to be about 30 inches tall and good for zones 4A to 9B. And so normally when you go to a local garden center, you're going to see the Russian sage, but it's going to be a much bigger pot, and the Russian sage is already going to be blooming. So this is a little bit behind. That's okay. I think I ordered 5 of these, I believe. I've never had Russian sage, and it smells really good. Here's my Incredible hydrangea. I love that they put the tag right here. So obviously, again, this is a super small one. You would go to your local store and get one that's already blooming, but that's also going to be about 3 times the price as what I paid. These were $22, I think. So the Incredible hydrangea is for zones 3 to 8, and it's going to get 4 to 5 inches tall and wide. Here's my second Incredible hydrangea, and these I can tell were topped up with soil right before they left, I'm assuming, and it's still moist. So they haven't gotten any sun for the last couple of days, but they have had plenty of water in here, no problem. And they're not even, like, they're not even wilting. And you can also tell the roots are coming out of the bottom, and so all these plants are ready to be planted fairly quickly, and they should really just spring right off once they get into the ground. Ooh, this is like Christmas. I love it. Reminiscent ginger rose, and already we're getting some new growth right here. I think they snip the tops of all of these before they send them to make sure that they fit in the box really carefully. So already new growth right there. Oh, so beautiful. So Reminiscent ginger is good for zones 4 to 9. It's going to get 2 to 3 feet tall and 3 to 4 feet wide. It is fragrant, continuous blooms, and easy care. Love it. The second of my brush and sage. Ooh, I am excited about this one. This is a Proudberry Coral Berry. And so it's going to get those white berries in the winter time for most of the winter. Oh, isn't this so cute? Oh, it's going to be great. Okay, so this is for zones 3 to 7. It's going to get 2 to 3 feet tall and 2 feet wide. And I'm going to put them right in the front of, next to my front steps. I'm going to show you all that later. Here's my second coral berry. Switching gears a little bit. Most of what I ordered was perennials, but I did get a few annuals because I was looking specifically for annuals that are good in shade because I wanted a pot on my back porch, and that is just in the shade all day long. So one thing I picked out was the Jet Black Sweet Caroline, a sweet potato vine. And this, now this is normal. This is what you would find just at your local retail garden center, about this size. So maybe a little tad bigger, but not a lot. And this is gonna get pretty big, and it's gonna really bush out, and it's gonna vine down over my pot. It's gonna get about 16 inches long. And it's not, again, it's an annual, not a perennial. So this is for my pot. That was very anticlimactic. Oh well. This is a lemon meringue baptisia. And so this should, around this time of year, just shoot right off. Once I get it, actually, I'm pretty sure that it has some growth hormone right at the end of this, probably to get it to go once it gets out in the sun. Again, very damp, feels really good. I did expect it to maybe, oh, here we go right here. Your baptisia, there's a note. Your baptisia has been trimmed to promote the growth of eyes below the surface. So it has been trimmed on purpose to help more in the future. So I will definitely not be getting any blooms this year. But I should be getting blooms next year, and it will just get bigger and bigger every year. Obviously the root system's great because the roots are coming out the bottom. This one is going to get, let me look, about 36 inches tall. And it's hardy zone 4 to 9. I've heard that baptisia is great for foliage during the season. Like once all those blooms go away, the foliage is still great to cut on for cut flowers and for bouquets. So that's really why I got it. Plus I need some shrubs in one area of my garden that is very lacking. All right, here's another annual, a coleus. I could have started this myself, but I just didn't this year. A Lime Time Color Blaze coleus. This is going to get 24 to 40 inches. So it's going to be a pretty big thing. Again, going in my pot on the back porch. And I just thought these colors were very nice together. A really dark and then like a really bright green. And I have one more thing annual in there to tie that all together. This looks like it's a hydrangea, it sure is. And this one did not get trimmed for whatever reason. Oh, because it's, I know what it is. Hold on. Interesting. I'm not sure why this one didn't get trimmed. But this is not the Incredible hydrangea. This is the Invincible Ruby hydrangea. I only got one of these. That's interesting that they didn't trim this one. I'm not really sure why, but it's growing great. Look at this. It looks beautiful. I need to get this out ASAP because it needs to go in the ground bad. This one is hardiness zones 3 to 8. And it is going to be 3 to 4 feet tall and wide. And this one is going to be a pink. Here's another one of my Russian sages. I should have 2 more Russian sage. Let's see. Maybe I won't order 4 after this. Here's another one. Oh yeah, I think I only got 4. Here's another one of my Russian sages. Kind of get those all together. Oh no, I did get 5. Ha! I was right. Here's a 5th of my Russian sage. And you're like, what on earth are you gonna do with 5 Russian sages? I do have a plan. And actually, unfortunately, I really should have gotten 2 of these Invincible hydrangeas, the white ones. Incredible, I'm sorry, not Invincible. Incredible white hydrangeas. I may just order another one. Because at this point, I definitely don't want to like go to a local nursery and get one that's way bigger than this, because then they're not going to be all the same size. So there may be an order soon in my future. This is one more annual. This is the Rockapolco Tropical Shades Impatient. And this is, it's a double impatient. So it looks like a rose-ish. I have done this one time before, but I had a lot of issues with it in that they would get to full bloom, the flowers would get to full bloom, but then they would just like drop off. But I also feel like I didn't put it in a big enough pot that time to really give it some growth. So I'm gonna do that a little different this time. So here's a picture. And this is gonna get 10 to 20 inches tall. And so this bright peach color, the bright lime, and then this dark sweet pea vine hanging over the side. That's kind of my thought for, and I got a navy blue pot to put these in on the back porch. So I thought that would be pretty. All right, so the plan for these is that I'm gonna get these into the sun because they have not seen sun for a couple of days. I'm going to go ahead and water them, and their recommended time frame of planting is no longer than 3 days. They really should get into the ground so they can establish their roots and be happy. So I am planning on this weekend to put these into the ground and get these planted up. In theory, if you really wanted to, you could just put these into a bigger pot, pot them up if for some reason you didn't maybe have your garden bed ready or whatever. They would at least have some space to grow their roots and have some nice new healthy soil. But you do not really want to move these twice in the same season. And you really don't want to have to move them next season either, because that's going to delay their blooming. So I would get these into the ground as soon as you can, which is what I'm gonna do after I'm done with all my mulching, which I'm like so close to being done. My husband has to till a place for me to put some of these new plants because they're doing a new garden bed. And I will take you along for where I'm going to be planting these. So I am gonna get started planting some of these plants, the ones that I don't need for the new bed. When I'm done with these ones, I will move on to showing you what and where our new garden bed is going and how that's gonna be laid out. So normally you would want to use a like biotone fertilizer when you put new plants into your garden bed. However, I don't have that. So my second best option for this scenario is rabbit manure. I went and got some right down from underneath the rabbit's cage, and I'm gonna pop a little bit in each hole, so at least they will have some fresh compost when their roots touch that manure. It's full of a ton of nutrients that plants love. So this should not be overly challenging because these are pretty small plants, so the holes don't need to be big, and so it should be not too big of a project. So let's get this started. This is a garden bed that is in need of some help. Not that it's bad with the way that it looks, but just that it needs more things. I'm realizing that part of my weed problem is that there's not enough perennial plants around. And so I've planted 2 of these things here. I planted the reminiscent rose right here, which is going to get 2 to 3 feet tall and around 3 feet wide. Roses like warm climates more so than cool, so I am not expecting this to get the full size. This garden bed gets sun about 60% of the day, so it's going to be on the smaller side. So I thought it would just be perfect to kind of fill in that ground spot and sit right next to that rock. I thought it would be very pretty. And then back there, I went ahead and did the Baptisia. That is a cool weather perennial, and so it is going to like our area. So I'm expecting it to get the full 3 feet tall and 3 feet wide, which will be perfect. So that gives me a space right here to kind of fill in with something at some point, and gives me a space right here to fill in with something at some point. I did think about getting more than one Baptisia, so maybe going here and here, having both of those areas at Baptisia. We'll see kind of how this one grows. I'm going to give it a season or 2 and then probably make another decision. And then I would like something maybe a little bit taller here. I have the Spirea right here, but just something with a little bit more height to it to add a little bit of texture and a little bit of a different, I don't know, like a different skyline. That's a bad way to say it, but just so it's not like all the way across. It's got a little bit more up and down going to it. So I still have some areas down here I want to fill with some ground cover, and I probably could fit something kind of right behind that hosta as well. Put some more things, but it's definitely coming along back here. Here is our spot that my husband was tilling this morning. Doesn't this split rail fence look nice? There's all the rocks that came from that one spot. That's the way Vermont soil is all those rocks. So now in here, I'm gonna have my incredible hydrangeas all the way in the back. And that, I don't have enough. I'm going to need to order, I think, 3 more of those to fill that spot up, and I will do that. And then in front of it is going to be a kind of curved arch of a kind of curved line of all the Russian sage. So the Incrediballs are going to come up, and then the Russian sage is going to kind of be coming through the hydrangeas. It's going to look really pretty. And then in the very front, in the middle, is going to be a short arborvitae that I haven't really picked out yet. Hold on. I wanted the Whip It Good for right there. They didn't have any more, and it is kind of hard to find because it's very popular. So I'll see what I can do. Since it's supposed to rain all day today and all day tomorrow, and so I'm not going to be planting these out right now, but maybe I'll take a picture for you so you can see those in another time. But here is a full view of that garden. It gets messy before it starts looking better. So what is my honest opinion about ordering plants online? I personally love it. And I think the biggest reason that I like it so much is because I'm able to plan out my gardens and stick to the plan that I create. There's been multiple times when I've had a plan, I know what I want, and then I go to the garden center and they don't have what I'm looking for. So I either have to go somewhere else, I have to wait. I don't have a lot of options of garden centers to go around here, honestly. Or I have to just kind of redirect my plan. But when I'm ordering flowers online, I'm able to plan out my garden, get the exact plants that I want, and know that it's going to work. Now, what's the downside to that? The downside to that is that I am probably 2-ish years behind growing my garden as opposed to what I would be getting from a garden center. You know, you're getting a 1-gallon pot, 3-gallon pot, depending on what you want to pay for when you go to a nursery to get your plants, versus these obviously are very small. You know, this is what a nursery, the size, I assume, the size that a nursery is getting to a pot to eventually sell at some point, I would guess, is how that works. So that is definitely a con if it's something you don't want to wait for, or if you're maybe not in a permanent place where you're not going to be somewhere for that long. I would not suggest ordering online. I am not the type of person that goes into a nursery and walks around and looks at the plants and gathers random things and then puts them somewhere in my garden. That's just not the way I work. Every once in a while I do that, but really not very often. I normally like to have a plan. So if you are that type of person, the online shopping is not for you, because you would probably much rather go and see your plants in person and kind of go off of feeling, whereas I go off of research and I know exactly what I want, how many I want, and where it's going to go before they even come. So huge shout out to specifically Garden Crossings, because that's the only place that I've ordered from, but there's lots of other nurseries online that do this sort of thing, and it has worked very well. So thank you for watching today's video and my review in some of my gardens, and I hope you enjoyed. If you're interested in gardening content throughout the rest of the summer and you want to follow along with what I'm doing in all of my gardens, my perennial beds, my vegetable garden, my flowers, all the things that I have going on, here at our home, please make sure to subscribe to the channel because you will get a notification every time I have a new video, or even every time I put on a new short, you will get a notification so that you can see what's going on. So thank you for stopping by today, and I will see you in the next video next week. Bye.